What's going on, guys? This is Wraiths from Arsenal back in another video, and today we'll be discussing, in my opinion, the top 5 budget decks for this current format. Now, a little criteria for you guys: 1, it must be competitively viable; 2, the deck's core itself must be around $100 or less; and 3, has to be relatively safe from the ban list and can be viable in future formats. But before we get into it, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about us. At the time of recording this video, we have over 400 subscribers, trying to get to 500, 600, etc. As every 100 subscribers on this channel is a subscriber giveaway. Also keep in mind that all the content on this channel is voted on by you, yes, you, the viewers, every single weekend. So without further ado, let's get right into it, starting off with our honorable mentions. Starting off with X-Sisters. This is a deck that builds and generates advantage based on cards being removed from the graveyard, as well as bringing up their small main deck monsters into their XYZs, as well as other rank 4s such as Baguska, Abyss Dweller, and Time Thief Redoer, just to name a few. Although their main goal is to get into their boss monster, X-Sisters Magnifica, they also like to control the board through the means of their trap card, as well as their other XYZs such as Returnia and Michaelis. This is one of those decks who actually can main deck D-Shifter and have no problem with it, as well as have plenty of room for non-engine in the main deck and financially, with their main deck costing around $50 or so. However, the deck is very linear and has a very low ceiling. Now, moving on to the actual list, at number 5, we had Sorso. Now, for me personally, I highly suggest any new or returning players to pick up this deck, as it's very inexpensive in the main and extra deck combined. And also, it's a great way to learn about synchro summoning, link summoning, etc. And it's fun to play, easy to pilot, and almost as easy to master. With reprints to cards such as Baron DeFleur, as well as the main deck monsters and Magnificent Mavens, this deck is super accessible, as well as you can pick up the tingies for a budget as well. And number 4, we have Pearly. After recent hits on the ban list, this deck is pretty affordable. With the most expensive cards you have to get for the deck is a playset of Pearly, which is around $10, and My Friends, which are around $8 at the time of recording this video. And you'll even have enough money in your budget to go and buy the Lyralust XYZs for the deck, as well as Zeus, Downer, and maybe even a Star Slayer. However, if you want this deck to be at its max potential, I highly recommend getting an SP Little Knight or 2, as well as crossout designators, and practicing, as this is one of the harder decks to master and harder decks to pilot in this current format without knowing what you're going up against. Now, moving on to number 3, we have Runix. The core itself, it's dirt cheap after the reprints, on top of the fact that the most expensive cards you get out of this deck is maybe a 1-up Sleipnir for your extra deck. With this deck, you have plenty of variants you can try out and test and play, including Runix Stun, the Goatee Runix, as well as Bestial Runix. However, I do not recommend this one at this current time. However, I do strongly recommend picking this deck up if you're actually interested in picking up, as it's, like I said before, very cheap, and I feel like it's very safe in the balance at this current time. And with new support coming out for the Ice Barriers, this deck is going to be insane. And at number 2, we have my personal favorite, Raid Raptors. With all the new support coming out of Phantom Nightmares, this deck is looking insane and looking like it's ready to compete. With the most expensive card out of this deck becoming Strigolanius, which unfortunately has one printing, but the thing is that card is only around $10 to $12 time for this video, and you need a playset of it. Everything else is well below the $10 mark. And even better, you don't require any of the expensive XYZ monsters, the expensive Link monsters like SP Little Knight, etc. This deck strictly stays in archetype. However, I do strongly suggest that before you take it to a regional, etc., you practice this deck inside and out, learn all of your lines and combos, because this is a very difficult deck to pilot and even more difficult to master. And at number 1, if you guys haven't figured it out already, is Floowandereeze. Yes, this deck is still the best budget deck you guys can get. 1, plays D-Shifter and loves to play the card. 2, the whole entire core is well under $100, including Pot of Prosperities. You don't need any expensive extra deck monster. You can just literally throw anything you want in there, though I highly recommend rank 1s and Zeus. And this is one of those decks I highly recommend picking up as a new player, because it's easy to learn, easy to pilot, and doesn't take too long to master. The only downside with this deck is that you may require Triple Tactics Thrust, at least in my opinion at a 2 or 3 of, and that's around a $45 to $55 card a pop right now at time recording this video. But it's well worth the money, especially when you have cards like Harpy's Featherstorm, triple tactics talents, etc. But guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Tell me guys what you thought about this video in the comment section below. Did you agree with it? Also, what are some decks that we might have missed that you can actually play this current format at a budget rate? Well, this has been Raptors Team Arsenal signing out. Peace and have a great day.